Are you magical? Are you special? Can anyone be a remote viewer? Hi there, crypto fans. Dick Allgire here in the beautiful but somewhat noisy Hawaiian Islands today. You're going to hear a little sound in the background. Can you hear that? There's a leaf chipper. Their tree trimmers are like grinding something up over there. Hopefully it'll stop soon. I'm using a directional mic, so hopefully it won't be too bad. The question is, can anyone remote view? Do people who learn and practice with a structured, highly protocol-driven methodology achieve better results than people who just sit down and wing it? Now, having said that, I will admit that some of the top remote viewers didn't really use a structured methodology. Pat Price, Ingo Swan, when he was doing testing with SRI, I don't think he went into it with a structured protocol. What he did was he tried to back engineer what he was doing, and he came up with something that is highly structured. Thank God the tree chipper machine has stopped. Joe McMoneagle, one of the dirty little secrets of the Stargate unit was that he didn't use the method that came out of that and is associated with that. Joe McMoneagle can just sit down and do it on his own. Lon Vo, the great psychic, she doesn't use a structure. I ask her how she does it. She says, I splash cold water on my face before a session. So yes, it can be done, but these people are very special. Some people are extremely psychic. For you and I, people who are more normal, all of us have a subconscious awareness and some degree of psychic ability. It's natural within the human being. But how do you establish an on-demand communication with your subconscious? That is protocol-driven. It's a matter of learning a structure. You're doing a very complex series of tasks the same way over and over again that gets your mind right. It occupies your conscious mind while cueing your subconscious, putting in little queries that open up a pathway to your subconscious awareness. So there's some that claim they can just wing it. You don't need any protocols, and they're popular on Reddit and Discord, and they claim that, hey, the methodology, that's for you old guys who just aren't as special as us, who aren't as magical. Everyone wants to be magical. Everyone wants to be special. Everyone would like to be a remote viewer. Hey, I can transcend time and space. Yes, I'm amazing. Oh, you can be amazing and you don't need to learn anything. Send me a couple $100 and I'll just teach you how to be magic, how to be special. I just haven't seen results from that impress me. The first time I remote viewed, I didn't use any methodology. I saw a documentary about remote viewing, and I saw Mel Riley sitting at a desk with a pen and paper just going like this and drawing something. So I sat down at a desk, I took a target ID, and I just tried to emulate that. And I perceived what I thought was a line going up, like a straight line, raising in elevation with segmented intervals on it. And it was moving. And that's about as much as I got. I said, well, I get this feel of a line that's moving upward, and there's different things at segmented intervals. And I looked at the target feedback, and it was a picture of a ski lift on a mountain. And I was like amazed. Hey, I remote viewed. And I did. It was called the first timers effect. And you can try that out yourself, and very often it will work. But how do you get complex data? Tomorrow, I'm going to debrief a target where I will speak for 30 minutes, given just a target ID, just a set of random letters and numbers. And using my methodology, for about 2 hours, I gather data, and I will do either a 30-minute whiteboard or a brief of my written data that will last probably 30 minutes. And I think it will be pretty good data. That is a result of structured methodology, of applying myself to a protocol. Can anyone remote view? Yes, I think anyone can remote view, but not everyone has the discipline and tenacity to see it through to get up to the magical level. We all want to be magic, but becoming magic takes a lot of hard work. It's like you couldn't pick up a guitar and just play like Eric Clapton. You could play kind of like Eric Clapton if you took lessons, learned scales, learned blues progressions, practiced runs on the neck day in and day out, and learn what fret you've got to touch in which order, and then at some point your inspiration will let you rearrange the proper frets in an order, and you can play somewhat like Eric Clapton, probably not as good as him, but you can get in the ballpark. But you can't just pick up a guitar and just, well, I'm going to wing it. So a lot of people claim they don't need methodology, but what they're mostly doing is they're working without a protocol, they have no chain of custody, and they're doing targets that are not verifiable, and they're producing data that, well, I said it was wavy across, and it was a lake. I'm psychic, I'm special. Not really. So that's my rant for today. Yes, I believe the structured methodology, we all at Future Forecasting Group, let me do the ad for Future Forecasting Group, here are the viewers. Daz Smith trained in CRV. When he sits down and does a session with us, he's doing it the same way every time. He's using a disciplined approach that uses a methodology that he's adapted, but it is a methodology and it is a disciplined approach. Edward Reardon likewise practiced for years with various methodologies and devised a way that is a set of protocols that are unique to him, but it still is a disciplined approach that uses a step-by-step method. Malcolm, I don't want to call him Malcolm, Naeem Vendreas. You see Naeem Vendreas there on the end with the dreadlocks. He's trained in a couple of methodologies, and he uses a structured methodology. I use Hawaii Remote Viewers technique that was developed by U.S. Army Special Forces, highly structured. I sit down with a pen, and I do about 600 things step by step with a cadence and a pacing that is dictated by the methodology, and that's how I'm able to get remote viewing data. So I'm not a believer in seat-of-your-pants remote viewing. You can sit down with a target ID and just wing it, and once in a while you'll get some pretty good data, but mostly I would term it not remote viewing, I would call it wild-ass guessing.